minutes from our April 8th, 2025 meeting.
So moved.
Second.
Properly moved and second, all in favor?
Aye.
So we'll move on to the approval of the bills. Controller Edwards.
Okay, general fund $1,484,804.79. Liquid fuels, $8,403.82. Hazmat, $2,500. 911, $722,635.85. Records improvements, $5,496.97. CDBG, $82,801.53. Domestic relations, $497.01. And children and youth, $736,096.16. For a total of $3,043,236.13.
Do I have a motion to pay the bills as presented?
So moved.
Second.
Properly moved and second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you, Controller Edwards. We'll get these signed here. Thank you, sir. Now, next we will move on to personnel issues. List of personnel changes for the Commissioner's approval. New hire, Assistant District Attorney in the DA's office, effective 4/14/2025. Full-time Corrections Officer transfer to temporary Corrections Officer, effective 3/31. Telecommunications Operator to 911 Center, transfer from part-time to full-time, effective 4/13/2025. And under separations and retirements, caseworker CYS, effective 4/1/2025, and Director of Tourism, effective 4/18/2025. No FMLA, leave of absence request. Do I have a motion to approve these personnel changes?
So moved.
Second.
Properly moved and second, all in favor?
Aye.
Personnel changes stand. Do we have anyone here for public comment today? I know we have a couple people representing proclamations that we're gonna do. Anyone for public comment? Seeing none, we will move on. Any old business to come before the board? Seeing none, we'll move on to new business. We're gonna introduce, we have Brittany Blackburn with us. I believe you have somebody else, you have someone else with you?
I have 3 of us, yep.
Okay, and this is to proclaim May as National Foster Care Month. If you would like the floor to speak about National Foster Care Month for a few minutes, and then we will do the proclamation.
Okay. Do you need me to go up? Or am I-
Just so people at home can see, perhaps.
If you wanna, please come up front, that way people can see.
Okay.
Once again, this is Brittany Blackburn.
Thank you. Okay. So each year during the month of May, we like to come together to recognize and bring awareness to the children and youth who are living in foster care, as well as our foster care parents, the child welfare workers, advocates, mentors, who work tirelessly day in and day out to provide these children and youth with a safe environment in which to thrive. In the United States, there were 570 youth who were served in foster care, with 369,000 of those remaining in care. Pennsylvania itself ranks number 8 in the United States for total number of youth who are in foster care. So I'm here today along with Amanda Clark, Taylor Clark, and Kim Olson, who are workers with Children's Aid Society in the foster care program. We're here to ask the Commissioners of Clearfield County to proclaim May as National Foster Care Month. By doing so, Children's Aid Society hopes to bring attention to the fact that there are many children who have been removed from their homes that need a safe and nurturing environment that foster families can provide. And those families need support from their communities to ensure that they can keep providing for those youth in various ways. So nationally, every 150 seconds, a child is placed into foster care. So as I'm speaking today, right now, a child-centered care somewhere in the United States. Not just in May, but all year long, we hope to bring awareness and recruit families within the community who are willing to take a chance and become a foster parent. So I just wanna thank you for this opportunity today to speak on behalf of children in foster care and the foster parents who provide them on a daily basis.
Well, thank you, and thank you to the Children's Aid Society for all you do. We as commissioners will be proud to proclaim National Foster Care Month in Clearfield County for May 2025. I will now read the proclamation into the record. Whereas the family serving as the primary source of love, identity, self-esteem, and support is the very foundation of our communities and our state, and whereas nationally there are more than 400,000 children and youth in foster care and 14,000 in Pennsylvania. And whereas all young people in foster care need a meaningful connection to someone who can support a lasting presence in their lives. Whereas foster, kinship, and adoptive families who open their hearts and homes to children whose families are in crisis play a vital role in helping children and families heal, reconnect, thereby launching young people into successful adulthood. And whereas dedicated foster families frequently adopt foster children, resulting in a greater need for more foster families. Whereas there are numerous individuals, public, private organizations who work to increase public awareness of the needs of children in and living foster care, as well as enduring and valuable contribution of foster parents and the foster care system. It is only as good as those who choose to be part of it. Now therefore, the Commissioners of Clearfield County do hereby proclaim May as National Foster Care Month in Clearfield County and urge all citizens to come forward and do something positive that will change a lifetime for a young person. I have a motion to
So
make.
moved.
Second.
Properly moved in second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
And we have the proclamation of National Foster Care Month in Clearfield County. Would you like to get a photo? And you are welcome to stay for the remainder of our meeting, but if you do not find that to be incredibly entertaining, you are not obligated. But if you would want to come up and get a photo,
Yes, we'll take a photo.
Brittany, do you want me to say something?
Yeah, I didn't even
That's
bring my phone in there.
I'll just email it to you.
Leave bring a quarter to park. To be honest.
You want this? Want me to?
Heather will just get it out.
Yeah, I'll just email it.
Heather, are you gonna take one you can send to me as well?
I will. Am I okay to step in front of you?
Yeah, you'll send it.
Okay,
Go for it.
alright.
Okay, so, and thank you ladies for all you do and for making us look good in this photo.
Nice.
I have to take my picture first, and I have to get your names too after I take the picture.
Okay.
Those are mine to get your names.
Do you need a picture for the radio?
Thanks. Taylor Park,
Can you spell it?
Taylor Park.
Okay, what's your title?
I am adoption and foster care permanency worker.
Permanency worker.
Yeah.
It's Children's Aid Society?
Yeah.
And your name?
Kim Olson, Olson,
Your title?
same title as hers.
And your-
Amanda Clark,
and what's your
administrative assistant.
Children's Aid Society?
Yes.
Brittany Blackburn, Brittany, BLACK,
And what's your title?
program manager.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you guys.
Thank
Have a
you
good
again.
day.
Thank
And
you.
once again, a huge thank you to the Children's Aid Society for not just the services they perform this month, of course, but the services they perform year round.
Thank you.
Next on the agenda is to proclaim May as Motorcycle Safety Awareness Month, and we had scheduled Toby Wingard to be with us today, and he is not. So I'm going to proceed with the proclamation in his absence. I saw him over the weekend, I expected him to be here. This is something we do on a regular basis, the month of May being Motorcycle Safety Awareness Month. I will read the proclamation, then we will take a vote on that. Motorcycle Safety Awareness Month, May 2025. Whereas the safety of all Pennsylvania motorists is an issue of the highest consequence, and all highway users should unite in the safe sharing of roadways throughout the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. And whereas motorcycle riding is a popular form of recreation and transportation for thousands of people across the Commonwealth and our nation, the Commonwealth's 838,000 licensed motorcyclists are required to keep their vehicles inspected, obey current laws, and relative to operator safety equipment, and whereas, in efforts to reduce the number of motorcycle crashes and fatalities, the Pennsylvania Department of Transportation encourages all motorcyclists to take advantage of free training courses through Pennsylvania's motorcycle safety program and pledge to be one less crash statistic by visiting livefreeridealive.com. And whereas, it is especially important that our citizens of the Commonwealth be aware of motorcycles on the streets and highways and recognize the importance of staying alert, practicing safe driving techniques, promoting safety, and whereas during the month of May, Pennsylvania Department of Transportation, the Alliance of Bikers Aimed Towards Education of Pennsylvania, and the Pennsylvania Motorcycles Dealer Association will continue their advocacy of motorcycle safety. Do I have a motion to approve this proclamation?
I will move that we approve May as being Motorcycle Safety Awareness Month in Clearfield County.
I'll second.
Properly moved and second, all in favor?
Aye.
And we do declare, and there will be a motorcycle safety awareness event that's gonna be on May 10th in the morning on the courthouse steps. For anyone who would like to participate in that, look for more information from the ABATE members as that draws closer. Since we don't have anyone to take a picture with, we will move on from this here. We're gonna consider motion here on the floor to consider federal community funding request for the Ag Hub and Expo Center at the fairgrounds. We have Mr. Mike Kerr with us, as well as Jody Brennan. You would either or both like to speak
No, go
briefly
ahead,
about this
do it,
project?
and then I'll
I'll
pipe
do
in.
an overview and
Yeah.
then you step up.
Yep, I can do that, I can do that.
This is a pass-through grant, I believe, through Congressman Thompson's office. This is a long-term project we've all been working on.
Yes, in fact, last November, you all agreed to be a pass-through for a local state grant for local share count. But the maximum that you can apply for is $1 million. This project is more like 3.5 million. So this appropriations through GT's office, which we're coming to today, would help fill the gap. And just let you know, just yesterday, we received word that there is someone assigned to the local share count grant application, and they had a few questions which we're following up with them on that. But one of the big questions is, where's the rest of the money? Your project says it's X amount of dollars and you can only apply for one. So what we wanna be able to respond, hopefully after today, that we are pursuing on behalf of the fair board additional funds. And just to bring in focus what the project is, the project is a county agricultural hub and expo center, which would be a versatile facility that would be looking at a hub for agricultural and community activities. In particular, the funding program that the Congressman Thompson has is for community facilities, and this would be beneficial to the entire county. Mike has been really busy. One of the components of this application is getting support letters, and I know that you wanna just pipe up on who you have so far, Mike?
Yeah,
Fine.
there's quite a few letters of support, really. We went through our elected legislators, so to speak, and we did get letters of support there too. And then I know that Congressman Thompson is very interested in 4-H and FFA. That's a big thing for him. So I did go to the 4-H coordinator for a letter of support. That should be coming today. I went with, I also asked the FFA department in Mo Valley for a letter of support. And then the administration there in Mo Valley did send a letter of support, okay? So we do have that. I did go to the Clearfield County Farm Bureau for a letter of support, and that's coming today. And the Pennsylvania grain processing, I thought that would be a good one. I do have a letter of support there also, so, then, did get a letter of support from the livestock sale committee itself, and, who did I miss, Jody? I don't know.
You got them all, but
Yeah.
this is a fast, moving project, the applications are due tomorrow, it's an online, process. Which I looked at everything, I made sure that this project is eligible, but again, the Fair and Park Board cannot be eligible for the applicant, so they're asking if you would, again, since you were already supported to be a pass-through, if you would agree to be the pass-through, and if you do, I'm ready to enter everything in, that's by the due date tomorrow.
And for those of you, this project is toward the brainchild of Mr. Kerr over here. We've been talking about this for quite some time. Probably going back about a year on this project.
Correct.
It's gonna require some creative financing. It's gonna take a couple years to get all the financing in place. But this should be a great addition to not just Clearfield County, but to the region, to have an agricultural hub / training center, a multi-purpose facility centered around agriculture and a lot of youth agriculture activities. So I know, thank you, Jody, for you put a lot of work into this. I know, said you've put a lot of work into, as well as working with our legislators. This is gonna require some different funding streams. So do I have a motion to have Clearfield County act as the pass-through on this grant application, the federal community funding request for the Ag Hub and Expo Center?
So moved.
I was just gonna say, if I may, I think you
Sure.
also may wanna include that as chairman, execute any documents associated with it. I'm not sure if he has to electronically sign or not, but that way you're covered if you need anything quickly.
I'm glad you spoke up because I do wanna mention, you all had a agreement between the Fair Board. So I don't know if there would be addition to that, being that it includes another.
I think we would wanna do that too.
Fair Board wants to meet with us this week anyway, so.
That'll work to do that, but I think just that way you're covered.
Okay, well,
You
so
know, any-
we will cover that on the legality end of it for any signatories, things that need take.
So I'll amend my motion to reflect that.
Well, I will second the motion for Clearfield County to serve as a pass-through for the Penny Thompson Ag Hub and Expo Center.
Okay, properly moved and second, all in favor?
Aye.
And once again, a huge thank you. I know these things can come up on very short notice. I know this takes time and resources. I thank Mike for doing the legwork. Jody, as always, going above and beyond. But we will see that this meets the deadline.
I would like to personally thank the commissioners and Jody, okay, for continuing to support, the request for funding. And we did meet with Congressman Thompson some time back, and he did recommend that we do apply for this funding, Jody, community project funding
Yep.
appropriation. So we're just following through what he actually recommended for us, so.
And that, like I said, we're not directly providing the funding at the
Right.
county level, but we are doing anything we can to
Right.
facilitate this project, and that's where we definitely thank Jody for her efforts.
Happy to help.
Thank you very much, I certainly appreciate it.
We're looking forward to the ice sculptures.
Butter sculptures. Ice
Butter sculptures.
Yeah.
We will move on, next item 4, consider memorandum of understanding with Swan Legal Services Initiative. And I'm sure Councilor Bozovich will tell me exactly what that is.
This is an agreement with Swan, who provides adoptive services and other services to help assist CYS. So right now, we utilize 3 paralegals of Swan. They are employees of Swan. Swan oversees them. We provide a space for them. There is no financial obligation from the county, but it's part of the Swan network, which is the statewide adoption network, is what it stands for in there. So we have had those paralegals for several years. This program program started back in 2002. This is just that memorandum of understanding outlining that we'll provide a space for them. They'll be able to be used in connection with our adoptive services and other court services. And they do a very nice job for us, the three we have in there. So I have reviewed that. It is, as far as the agreement, it is through the end of this fiscal year, and then there's 2 6-month renewals that would take it, if those 2 renewals are exercised, to June 30th of 2026.
Okay, thank you, Counselor. Do I have a motion to consider this memorandum of understanding with Swan Legal Services?
So moved.
I'll second.
Properly moved and second, all in favor?
Aye.
Next, we have resolution 2025 number 3, authorizing the sale of surplus county property.
We are selling a 2010 Ford Explorer, which it's not operable, well, I shouldn't say that, it is operable, but the inspection ran out a year ago. It has rust issues, so the value is under 2,000, so I'll be offering it to the employees.
At no reserve.
Right.
Okay, this is part of our process of switching over to fleet management. This is one of our last owned vehicles, I believe, or one of a few.
One of a few.
Yeah, I think we still have a couple.
Okay.
Was this a probation?
Well,
Okay.
it's been a hand-me-down.
Yeah.
Do I have a motion authorizing the sale of surplus county property?
So moved.
Second.
Properly moved in second, all in favor?
Aye.
Purchase of a service agreement with Cameron County Children and Youth Services. And assume this is just one of the things that we automatically do back and forth with surrounding.
A little bit, this is a new one with Cameron County, we haven't had one, they needed to utilize one of our foster care homes, so this is letting us be reimbursed by Cameron County, so a good one to have in place. So this one will be current through our current fiscal year, and then if that need continues to arise, we'll have one for the upcoming fiscal year. But other than that, it is our standard agreement,
So,
but it's for that purpose.
well, new, but nothing out of
Yes.
the ordinary.
Correct.
Okay, do I have a motion on the purchase of service agreement with Cameron County?
So moved.
Second.
Properly moved and second, all in favor?
Aye.
And next, we will consider a backup solution with VM or Veeam. I think it's
Beam.
Veeam?
Yeah.
This is-
You wanna explain the situation
wanna-
a little bit?
Since we have our IT director here today,
Yes, so we have a current backup solution. They're increasing their prices, so we looked into a different backup solution. This one would save us money. It's basically just for disaster recovery in case something happens to all of our software that we can back it up.
And we have so many things going into backup these days that we need more space.
Yes, we do.
So that's what kind of, was the
that's what,
beginning of this
yeah,
discussion.
that's what prompted this, was running up against capacity. Okay, do I have, that the Sabrina has done her due diligence on this, do I have?
Have you seen the agreement?
It's not actually an agreement,
Yeah.
they're asking for you to sign the quote, so I'm not sure if they'll do a formal agreement after or just accepting the quote. So they gave the quote and then they gave kind of, I'm gonna say a user guide for
Yeah.
lack of a better word. None of it really had any contractual terms or anything along those
Well,
lines,
how about,
so
I'll move that we approve it subject to your review if a contract
if a
comes down
contract
the
comes
line.
in, that's fine.
That makes sense. I'll second that.
Okay, properly moved in second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. That concludes our new business, but I know,
I had a couple things to add if I can.
I was gonna say, if anything else for the good of we wanna throw in under new business and then we will kick back to the solicitor's report.
Well, number one, our executive director from North Central, Jim Chorney's here, so I wanted to, number one, welcome him. I've sat on that board basically since I became a commissioner, and see if Jim had anything he wanted to share.
Sure, I'll just give you a few updates, I appreciate the opportunity
Yeah,
to
absolutely.
be able to speak. Last month, we were able to attend a conference in Washington DC. It's a national association of development organizations like North Central across the country. It's a great learning opportunity, but one of the other things that it presents for us, or opportunities it presents for us, is the chance to go and talk to our federal legislators. So we go up on the Hill typically on that Tuesday, and we were able to actually meet with all 3 of our federal legislators. we had the opportunity to talk a little bit about some of the programs that are important to us in our region, one specifically being the Appalachian Regional Commission. Talk to them about things that, how we utilize it, give them actually project update or impact reports, to give them a visual as to what that money actually goes towards within their legislative districts. But it also gives us an opportunity to talk to them a little bit about some of the like current challenges that we have going on. We're all familiar with what's going on with Penn State Du Bois and some of our healthcare institutions, so we had an opportunity to speak to those as well. So it was a great opportunity, and we were able to convey a lot of that information to them. One other thing I just wanted to make note of, here coming up in May, I'm going to be attending it's a listening forum in Wellsboro. It's from Governor Shapiro's Office of Transformation and Opportunity. I have to make sure I get that one right. And what they're looking at and what they want to hear about is some of the things that they feel would be challenges for big projects, businesses moving and things of that nature that would hold them back from being able to accomplish those goals, things like zoning, permits, things of that nature. So I'm gonna be attending that, but I'm also lobbying right now to be able to bring one of those forums into our 6-county region as well. So more to come on that hopefully, and we'll be able to have more of a local flavor to that as in the future hopefully.
So those who aren't aware, our 6-county North Central region is Clearfield, Jefferson, Elk, Cameron, McKean, and Potter.
Thank you guys.
Yeah, and thank you, Jim, for the update and for all the good work that North Central does, a valuable resource for all the counties and surrounding counties as well. Thank you.
The only other update I wanted to give was a real short one on the election. The fact we just did poll worker training. I think that went really well. Especially considering Brian is new to this, I think he picked it up very quickly, and it was a team effort. And also, our ballots are done, our ballots are in, and we started sending out absentee and mail-in ballots a little bit yesterday, but we're really starting to crank it today. So if you signed up for one of those options, within the next, I'll say 2 weeks, you should be getting your ballot.
And in conjunction with that, I'd like to remind everybody, if you're not registered to vote, you still have time to vote, to register to vote for the May municipal primary. The deadline is May 5th. To register to vote, stop in the elections office, get online, go to votespa.gov, I believe is that one. Encourage everyone to participate in the electoral process, and said if you're not registered, you still have time to do so for the May municipal primary. Do we have any report from the solicitors?
I was just gonna remind of the election, but also another reminder, in April, one round of tax delinquency notices went out. In May, another round will go out for properties that may be subject to the upset tax sale. For people who may not be aware that their taxes are delinquent, if you get certified mail from the county, I would encourage you to pick it up and contact the tax office to hopefully have that resolved so you don't run into an issue too late. But those mailings, one went out in April and then another one will go out that first week in May. So those are important for anybody. Even if you thought you paid and got a notice, if it's an error, make sure it gets cleared up before there could be a bigger issue. So just keep an eye out for those.
Thank you, Councilor Bozovich. Gentlemen, for the good of the order, you wanna thank IT?
Oh, yeah, we know, and good point. We wanna thank everybody who was involved in those nasty storms, but I wanted to give a special shout out to IT who had to come in on Easter and help clean some things up with the IT at the jail, and of course we had a lot of problems here, but certainly IT, our emergency personnel that had, they got slammed, and everybody was working on the cleanup.
And as well, I wanted to mention, thank you, both Penelec, Unilec crews, volunteer firefighters. There were a lot of resources tasked Saturday and Sunday through the Easter weekend, and still a lot of storm damage in a very localized area here, but it did affect a lot of people with power outages, and I sincerely thank everyone who contributed to helping get through that, especially on a holiday weekend.
That's tough.
Anything else to come before the board today?
Motion to adjourn.
Do I have?
Second.
Motion and second, all in favor? Aye. We are adjourned. Thank you so much, everyone. Jim, thank you for coming down.
This grant application.
With Congressman Tom, yeah, there's no dollar.